Hey Jacquelyn, I really liked your video. You said a lot of things that I am very passionate about, and things that I even said in my initial video about how when sin entered the world, so did illness, so did psychopathology. That God's initial design for us as human beings were not, He didn't create us with mental illness or sickness or any form of illness, but it was when sin entered the world, now that we live in a fallen world, we see psychopathology, and in that way, um, as you said, psychopathology is a result of the fall. It is ultimately the result of sin, which is heartbreaking. But we as counselors, not only counselors but also believers, we have the opportunity to bear witness to the suffering of the world, which is what Neff and McMinn 2020 talk about a lot, how we have that opportunity to create a space to allow someone to suffer, to allow someone to struggle, while also holding out the possibility for hope, is what they talk about. Um, so that's something I'm really passionate about. Is rather, you said something in your video about how a lot of Christian communities, we see people say like, oh, just trust in God, and like you said, that's very true. Like, it's important to trust in God, and ultimately at the end of the day, whatever we're struggling with, whatever we're suffering, we are called to allow His grace to be sufficient for us to find joy and contentment in any situation. However, that doesn't mean that we don't have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and to pursue health in order to better serve and love Him and bear witness to Him for others. And I think a huge part of that is allowing people to lament, which is kind of what you were alluding to, like allowing people to struggle and suffer, and help, and actually treating that, not just glossing over it and going to the cheap hope. And this is all stuff that Neff and McMinn 2020 talk about. I just love their book. And something else they say is that if we encourage synthetic grieving, then we are encouraging synthetic living. That we, like, grieving is a part of life, of living, and not only grieving like a loss, but maybe even just like grieving or feeling sadness or hopelessness in the face of a mental disorder, of a serious struggle. And I think that's why it needs to be a struggle. Like, we don't just sit in it and just like allow it to overtake us, because that is not biblical. But we also don't have to just gloss over it, and I don't think glossing over it is biblical either. If you read Lamentations or Jeremiah or Psalms even, you see the authors going through serious struggles and then arriving at the hope of the Lord. We don't just jump to that. And so you kind of bringing that up reminded me like of how important it is for us as not only believers but as Christian counselors going forward, how we're able to create that space for other people to provide hope and love and grace in those moments of struggle. So thanks for your video. I really liked it.